No, it's all kind of getting to where it needs to be. Um, but new guys on the staff as well as just a couple of changes. But we're all excited and ready for this next season. So.
All right, let's go ahead and start with your defensive signees. When you take a step back and look at the whole group, what do you think about this specific class? How would you define the guys you have coming on the defensive side of the ball this year?
There's a lot of good players, a lot of good kids that we feel we can develop. There's a couple of those kids that are going on missions, but there's a lot of length. And that's the thing is just getting kids that can cover a lot of ground, getting kids that are athletic and kids that are big that can take up blocks and shed blocks and all that stuff. And so you look down at it. I mean, there's just a lot of good, long, tall kids in this class, and so really excited about them.
So to play in the secondary, specifically at corner, it seems like you got to be a little taller and you got to have a good wingspan. That's something you're going after specifically?
Yeah,
And speed.
yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do on defense, right? There's a lot of corners that are good players that probably fit different systems as far as probably playing more zone coverages and keeping everything in front of you. Kids that are good tacklers and all that. And with what we've tried to do in the last couple of years, playing tons and tons of man coverage,
Yeah.
you've got to have kids that are long, kids that can run, kids that can make windows a little bit smaller for quarterbacks to throw. And so that look at the DB, DB class that we've signed. There's a lot of speed there, athleticism, and kids that just long, tall kids that are fast.
Let's look at some of those DBs. So Talon Alfrey, 6'3", 185. Isaiah Heron, 6'1". Malik Moore, 6'1", 180. These feel like Michael Davis type of guys in a way.
Exactly. I mean, that's a prototypical body type that you're looking for, kids that can run like that. And the balls that cost you the most are the deep balls, and so we want to try to make those windows smaller and kids that can run with these receivers these days that are lot of these teams that are good have big, tall, physical receivers. So we got to have corners that can play with them. If you have corners that are a little bit shorter, sometimes they get exposed when you're playing against bigger, taller receivers. So.
All right, as Jaron mentioned, Talon Alfrey. Brock Davis is another guy that comes from Salt Lake City. He's also 6'1", so look for size there. But I tell you what, there is no better position that will help out a defensive back group than probably the defensive line. If they can get to the quarterback, the DBs are living large, right?
Yeah.
And let's focus on Chinonso Opara. We talked about him in December. You said, look, he's raw, but you're really excited about what he brings in that going back to that size again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's same thing with a quarterback that is looking over guys like if Chinonso standing next to Corbin and all of a sudden you're having to throw through lanes with them putting their hands up. The lanes are smaller. You get more batted balls, tip balls. Normally equate to turnovers and picks, and so these kids are going to take up a lot of space as well as just give us a good opportunity to push the pocket and hopefully help these corners out. Corners that are playing man-to-man, which I think is the hardest thing to do on defense. When you got a D-line that can push the pocket and get you playing with the clock in your head, then you can play a lot more aggressive as a corner, knowing that your D-line's going to get the ball out a little bit quicker.
Chinonso's a great story too. He's Nigerian and kind of fell in your lap in that he's in Draper going to Juan Diego. So what was it like to recruit him and say, hey, come play football, man?
Yeah, he was actually one of our coaches noticed him just playing basketball. He wasn't really. I think it was his first year playing football, but wasn't really playing yet. And so
was it watching somebody else in a game and they happened to see him?
Yeah, okay. I think it was watching their kid. It's like, who's this guy? And athletic on the basketball court, and really raw in football. He's only been playing for 2 years now, so we know that his best years are ahead of him. But he came to our camp and did a phenomenal job. Was really stout, and I was surprised by that. We have a drill that we do, which is bull in the circle. Just get two guys head up. The rules are you can't twist, and you got to push the other guy out. And I mean, he was always late off the ball, and so kids were always coming off the ball, getting the better positioning on him, and then he would just stop and then reposition himself and just walk him out of the circle. So he's really strong. I mean, obviously he's big, but I think that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in there, and he's a guy that can also play both ways, which was always nice to have kids that can transition to the other side too if it ends up being best for their career.
So you're saying there's a possibility he could play offensive line?
Yeah, we've had those discussions. The thing about him is he's coming as a defensive lineman. If the team needs him there, and we think that it's going to be best for his career in the future, then that definitely is something that could happen.
A 7'2" wingspan for Chinonso Opara. That is some length.
I'm impressed by the amount of height in this class. We're talking about Harris LaChance, who's a 6'8" tackle. Chinonso Opara, 6'8". Do you have to be 6'8" to be recruited to play line at BYU now, or something?
Yeah, it's a Disneyland ride, right? You're not this tall, you can't get on. So,
Ilasia Tuiaki with us, Coach. It's always great to talk to you. I know this is a big day. I hope you get some time off. A few days to just kind of collect your thoughts and break away for a bit.
It'll be good. After this class is done today and we put it to bed, we're ready to get spring ball started and start meetings. So we're excited about that.
All right, Coach. We appreciate the time on a busy day.
Thank you.